Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to the That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and you are live with me for Atalanta against Arsenal in the Champions League. I hope you're all doing well. I've started off a bit of debate in the chat already. If you know, you know. Don't get me asking about it on the stream because I'll say something I regret. But we are live for Arsenal against Atalanta. Could be an interesting game tonight. I think that Atalanta are a relatively decent side. They've certainly got a couple of players I'd like to take a look at. Hopefully they're going to be in the starting lineup. Let me just get the stats carousel rolling round for you now so we can get that team news up on the screen. Big shout out to everybody who's watched my FIFA EAFC. I think I'll always call it FIFA, you know. EAFC career mode started today. Was a nice, we were expecting to start tomorrow, but we got a code early from EA. So we started 24 hours early. That's on my channel now. And I'm very happy with that start. It could have been worse. It could have been worse, so happy with that. Bayer Leverkusen have beaten Feyenoord 4-0 in this tournament. Wirtz got to Grimaldo as well, so good result for them. Benfica beat Red Star Belgrade. Atletico Madrid are playing Leipzig. Monaco are playing Barcelona. And of course, yes, we have got Atalanta against Arsenal. In the Champions League, 8 o'clock kickoff, so about 15 minutes away. Lineups are running around the screen for you. I just want to say this from the very start. I don't have a horse in the race, really. I mean, I'd rather Arsenal win the league over Man City. I'll admit that. But absolutely disgraceful that UEFA have got Arsenal playing on a Thursday night ahead of a Sunday game away against Man City. Man City-Arsenal is the jewel in the Premier League crown. It's the game that decides the title, really. And Arsenal are being hindered by the Champions League. The Premier League need to wake the fuck up and realise that the Champions League are trying to fuck you up, basically, because that is a joke. It is an absolute joke. And I've said my piece. It is an absolute disgrace that Arsenal are playing a Champions League game in Italy on a Thursday night when they've got to play Man City on Sunday. Rubbish. Rubbish scheduling. Arsenal, David Raya, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Rice, Partey, Havertz, Martinelli, Jesus, Saka. Basically gone with their strongest team as well. So he's picking the same team that's going to play on Sunday, I would imagine. Atalanta, players to look out for. Ederson, number 13. He's a player I wouldn't mind coming to Manchester United. Lookman is a player that's been looked at quite a lot in the past. De Ketelaere is a player that, actually, talking about FIFA, tends to do quite well. Darun's a good player, the captain there. They've got a few good players. I don't know how they're doing, actually. Let's have a look in Serie A. I don't think they're... I know Napoli are doing well. I don't know about Atalanta. I haven't really caught up with the Serie A yet. I mean, they're mid-table. 1-2, lost 2. So, yeah, they're doing... well, they're probably doing a little bit less than okay, to be fair. At the weekend, they beat Fiorentina 3-2 with goals from De Ketelaere and Lookman, actually. Moises Kean at Fiorentina now. There we go. So, yeah, interesting game. Topics of conversation tonight. We are talking about embarrassing moments. Last night we were talking... This was set by somebody last night in the live chat just as it ended. So, embarrassing moments, if you want to share any with us. We were doing pet hates yesterday. And... I don't think anybody will top the pet hate. I mean, a pet hate is meant to be people sniffing on the train. Things like that. People eating with their mouth open. We had somebody last night whose pet hate was their gran died and said it was really selfish. It can't be a pet hate if it only happens once. Unless she's like, you know, super gran and she keeps coming back from the dead and dying just to wind you up. That can't be a pet hate. If Arsenal can beat City at the weekend, would you put them as title winners, as Connor? Way too early. Way too early. I actually agree with Will. We're live tomorrow lunchtime on this channel, midday, in the Goldbridge Arms for the Premier League preview, by the way, where Man City against Arsenal will feature a lot. But I agree with Will. I think that Arsenal do have a few more of them Brighton results, potentially, as well. So we'll have to care about that. I'll start us off with embarrassing moments. We'll keep it as a theme running through. I also have a very good opening either or. So if anybody wants to get in with either ors, then you can do that. But I've got a good either or to start off with. It is very much weekend specific. And it is, let me have a look. Raya against Ederson. I know what I think. I wonder what you think. Alex Lowe, thank you. My pet hate is when I wake up at the Diddy party with my trousers down, says Yora. Yeah, we're not doing pet hates tonight, unless we do that. Does East Gaming says, Mark spitting his water out after Shaw red card. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. You need to watch the stream and watch the Liverpool game for that. It was disgusting refereeing, to be honest with you. But there we go. Embarrassing moments. This is not one of mine. Honestly, it's not one of mine. Because I wouldn't tell you if it was one of mine. So we were at school. We were about 15 on the school bus in the morning. And one of our friendship groups said, you'll never believe what happened to me last night. And we're like, what happened to you last night? And he said, basically, I was in my bedroom. Now, I've been in his bedroom loads of times. We all have. You know, he used to go around playing Mega Drive and that. And basically, you walk in. If you imagine a wall, on the far right-hand side is the door into his room. And then halfway along the room is a single bed that sort of juts out. So you can walk round it to the window and down the other side to the cupboard. So as you walk in the door, you can see the bed coming out like that. But so basically, he said, I'm sat there on the edge of my bed last night with my pants down, having a Tommy Tank, and my mum comes up and tells me it's dinner time. He said, normally she knocks, but she just walked in. I'm sat on the edge of the... I'm sat on the edge of the bed, and I'm I'm a rabbit in the headlights. There's nothing I can do because I've got my back to her as she walks in, sort of side on, but she can see my thigh all the way up to my arse. So I'm sort of banged to rights, and we were all like, "Why are you telling us this story? And what did you do?" And he said, "I said, please, I mean, quick as a flash, you know what I said? Did you say I'm coming?" And he said, no. I said, I'll be down in a minute. I said, that's even better. I'll be down in a minute. Brilliant. And anyway, he said, no, it's not brilliant because I had to go downstairs, sit at the table with my older sister, my dad and my mum and eat bangers and mash, typically sausage. And I don't know whether she told them. He said, it doesn't really matter if she told them because she knew. In fact, he said, I wish she had told them. So, because I didn't want that secret to be between me and my mum. So that was that would be a very embarrassing moment. But I don't know why he told us the story because it's always stuck with me as just one of those, literally caught with your pants down. And it's a true story. Millionaire's shortbread or chocolate brownie, says Abhijit. Oh, I don't eat any of that stuff anymore, to be honest with you. There was a good few ones there, wasn't there? Cut your pants down. I'll be down in a minute. I'm coming. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. So if you've got any embarrassing stories you want to share, let us know. Also, NAU says AITA because I'm not telling my colleague that his girlfriend abroad is fake and he sent her loads of money to fly to Sweden, but she never showed up. What's AITA? I don't know what that's all about, NAU. Embarrassing story when my dad saw my porn, says the Bladdernator. Oh, that happened to me. I've got quite a few embarrassing stories. I'll keep them back for later because they're a little bit X-rated, but I'll keep them back. Let's just change the subject back to football for a moment. There was a comment earlier. What do you think about the increase of YouTubers wearing sunglasses after a big result for their team? Knobheads, basically. I mean, Man United have had some good results recently. If you think I'm going to put a pair of sunglasses on, I just think knob head. Yeah, basically. In the ever, shallowing pool for new and different ways of doing content, putting a pair of sunglasses on is not going to be the Goldbridge way. It's banter, says Kyle. I don't think it's banter. I just think it's knobheadish, really. I don't know what's funny about it. I've got a pair of sunglasses over there. Shall I put them on? Like, I don't get what's funny about it. I think it's rubbish, to be honest. I preferred the poor. Okay, love you, Mark, but you can't take opinion lately, says Rich. I definitely can. What you lot can't take is that I'm right. Different thing. I can listen to opinion. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Old Trafford being knocked down. I don't think you're a United fan if you want the stadium to get knocked down. End of conversation. And what people do, this is a United-based conversation, right? We're not on the United stand. So this morning, I basically said, if you want to knock Old Trafford down for a new stadium, I don't think you're a United fan. And people were like, I thought it was a fan channel. I thought it was all about opinion. It is. That's my opinion. Hashtag deal with it. Just because it's a fan channel doesn't mean I have to say, oh, your opinion's so good. You knock Old Trafford down and put a new one up. You're great. No, I disagree. I'm entitled to my opinion. Doesn't mean you can't put your opinion out there. That's my opinion. Your problem is, Rich, you can't deal with the truth. That's my opinion. You can have a different opinion, but I don't have to agree with yours. Sorry. I think Raya's better than Edison. Oh, I thought it was a fan channel. No, I think Raya is better than Edison. And I think you know nothing about football if you think Edison's better than Raya. Deal with it. Hashtag deal with it. For the love of God. Mark, what's your score prediction tonight? I think Arsenal will win. Don't know why I'm going over there. I think Arsenal will win. Yeah, I'm worried about Arsenal on Sunday. I think it's really unfair that they've got to play tonight. And I know I've had a bit of a moan about it already. But, yeah, I think it's unfair that Arsenal have got to play tonight and then play on Sunday. But, no, I think Arsenal will win. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. But I'm looking forward to seeing Edison because I think there is a real possibility that he'll end up in the Premier League in the next 12 months. And he may well end up in the Man United shirt as the Casemiro replacement. So, yeah, I'm interested in that. Let me just wipe this teep out. Join in the match chat. Thank you very much. Get your questions in anyway. I'm feeling in a feisty one. I'm feeling in a feisty mood tonight, so I'm up for conversation. I'm definitely in what I call a shithouse mood. No, I'm not really. I'm definitely in a mood to just say it how it is. Say it how it is. I'm in that mood tonight, so let's say it how it is. There was a funny topic last night that I just thought didn't have any legs. Basically, it was how quick, what animals can you beat in a running race? See, didn't have any legs. I think I can definitely beat a cow. I was having this conversation actually today, and somebody said to me, you can't beat a cow in a running race. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to embarrass them. When I do, I'm renting a cow on Saturday afternoon. I will be down in Tudor Grange Park in Solihull. The farmer's going to bring the cow along and draw out a track. He's going to stand 100 metres away with a bucket of food. I don't know what cows eat, carrots or something. And they're going to tie it to a tree. I'm going to be stood next to the tree. Ready, steady, go. You let go of the lead or whatever. And the farmer said that cow can smell a carrot from a mile away. So we run to the farmer. Winner gets a load of carrots. The cow can have the carrots when it loses. I will beat a cow in a sprint. But I was told this afternoon you definitely won't. You don't know how quick cows are. I went, if I lost a race to a cow, I'll retire from everything, even breathing. But I'd beat a cow over 100 metres. I wouldn't beat a horse. They're fast. I'd definitely beat a pig and a sheep. Just if the RSPCA are watching, I'm not talking about beating them up. You know, I've got emails flooding in again because they think I'm beating them with a stick. I'm beating them in a running race. But yeah, I wouldn't beat a hippo, Derek. Trossard's the referee tonight. This is bias. Is Trossard starting for Arsenal? This is going to be weird. He's on the bench. Have they ever played together in a match? The Glazers owes an apology for the state of Old Trafford, says Parker. We cannot afford to renovate, says Keel. You're not a proper United fan, Keel. Score prediction, says Eric. I am the a-hole, says NAU. Love you, Mark. Thank you very much, Rich. Spent my childhood on a dairy farm, Mark. You would not beat a cow in a race, says Jackie. What were you doing looking at cows in your childhood, Jackie? What were you doing at a dairy farm, Jackie? Why were you studying cows, Jackie? Do you love cows? Are you in love with cows? Would you like to go on a date with a cow, Jackie? Do you want to marry a cow? Well, I bet, is your best friend a cow, Jackie? Why were you spending? I've just realised you probably grew up on a farm. Okay, that didn't work. But you're still wrong, Jackie. You're a child and children are stupid. And because you're small, you think they run fast. But when you get to being an adult, you realise they're slower than Maguire. I will beat a cow in a race. And I'll definitely beat a sheep. I will not beat a polar bear because they can run 33 miles an hour. I will not beat a dog. Dogs are fast. My dog's small and it's fast. Definitely. So yeah. You can beat a cow over 1k, but not in 500 meters is banned. What? I said 100 meters. I'm like shit off a shovel over the first 10 meters, mate. I'm faster than... I go on the B of the bang. I learned that from Colin Jackson. Colin Jackson, Welsh sprint, 110 meters hurdle. I think he won a gold somewhere. On holiday, I think he was. Me and Linford Christie were doing some sprints, and Colin Jackson was there, and he came along and gave us a tip. He said, go on the B of the bang. And a lot of people don't know what that means, but when they fire the starting pistol, a lot of people wait for the fire of the pistol before they run. He said, as soon as you hear it go, just go. That's me. B of the bang bridge. Google says cows run 117 miles per hour. Yeah, I'm quicker than that. How fast do humans run in mph? Jogging, 6 miles an hour. That means sprinting, I'm about 20 miles an hour. Well, yeah, easy. Cows are going down. I'll be sprinting ahead of that cow. I'm really fast at backwards running as well. You know, when you spin around and backward run, footballers know what I mean. I'll be like 10 meters ahead of the cow. I'll spin round and then I'll go, you're going to end up in a Big Mac. You're going to be in a Big Mac. You're in a Big Mac. And then I'll spin round and just sprint faster. And it will have tears running down its eyes. And then when I beat it, I'll come back and pet it and say, you're not. You're a dairy farm. You're a dairy cow. I was just humiliating you in the race to get that extra win. Right, let's go. We're up and running. That was a nice little chat. All's fair in competitiveness. The things we used to say when we used to play football. God, playing certain teams in inner city Nottingham, the stuff they used to say they were going to do to you in the changing rooms, bloody hell. Have you ever had that when you used to play amateur football? God, when our under-16s team for school was very good, and we'd have to go and play all around the country, and you'd play some inner city teams. Let's just say inner city teams are, they're quite rough and ready. Some of the stuff they'd say on the pitch they were going to do to you. And it wasn't just weapon stuff, it was criminal. AJ versus Dubois, Watchalong. No thanks. Not for me. I can't be bothered. Yusuf. It doesn't... I think AJ will win that quite comfortably. I heard elephants are fast, says Zero. They probably are. They are. Okay. Do you think this never-ending saga with poor referees in the Premier League, do you think we should have referee exchange programs with other European leagues, says Dino. Dino, do you know Dino? I think it's absolutely incredible how, you've got... Look, and I'm not just going to call out Neville. Lineker, Rio, Rip, all of them. All that ex-player brigade with their podcasts, right? Have any of them said anything about the fact that Bournemouth have been robbed of 2 points? Literally robbed of 2 points. Even Howard Webb admitted that goal should have been given to Bournemouth against Newcastle. It's like, it's an admission that Bournemouth should have 2 more points. And this is what I mean. So incompetent is the officiating in the Premier League now that the mainstream just accept it. Oh, okay, let's just carry on. Like 2 points. Bournemouth should have 2 more points. If that, why are we discriminating Bournemouth? Imagine if Liverpool should have 2 more points, or Manchester United should have 2 more points, or Arsenal should have 2 more points. There'd be bloody uproar. But it's Bournemouth, so it's fine. They've basically admitted that Bournemouth should have 2 more points, and they got their decision wrong. Nobody's talking about it. We did, but you know. When are you going to start filming Goldbridge's Farms as the HPN? Mate, I would love to do Goldbridge's Pub, Goldbridge's Farm, Goldbridge on Tour, but I haven't got the time to set it all up. So if anybody thinks it would work and as a production company, let's do it. Basically, I just need to turn up and be able to film. I'll have the time to film it. I haven't got the time to produce it or set it up in motion. What's your thoughts on the new... Oh, here we go. Arsenal, good play. Good play, good play, good play. Saka! No, wide. What's your thoughts on the new cup competition with the National League teams and the Premier League under-21s? More games, more injuries. It's a joke, says Pilgrims Talk. I think it's, yeah. Players are we're going to talk about it on the podcast tomorrow. Players are threatening to strike. I don't have a massive problem with it. Tell us your embarrassing story, Mark. I will in a minute. Corner to Arsenal here. Jesus is finished. Well, he's certainly starting for Arsenal with Martinelli and Saka. I'm surprised Trossard isn't starting. Sterling on the bench again, of course. Atalanta clear that corner. Obviously, Arsenal have got Declan Rice back, but Odegaard's going to be out for quite a while. James BCFC says, my embarrassing moment is always being picked on in class by the teacher. I don't listen to the songs on FC25 Manchester because I have to stream, so I have to turn all that off. So I've not listened to a song on EAFC or FIFA in about 10 years. Could you beat a rabbit in a race? No. Rabbits are fast, William. What was for supper? Oh, I had a takeaway tonight, just Kevin. Just an impromptu takeaway. I had an Indian takeaway tonight. So I had I've started mixing up my takeaway orders actually because of you lot, because I get embarrassed that I have the same thing all the time. So for the last 6 months I've started ordering different stuff off the menu. So tonight I had a vegetable balti, salmon tikka, pilau rice and mushroom bhaji. Now normally I'd have pilau rice, garlic naan, chicken tikka masala, chicken pakora and happy days, and I had that for years, but I've started mixing it up now. It's quite nice. Pinecone is having toad in the hole with broccoli. Salmon tikka is disgusting, says Dita. It was very nice. I love salmon. I love salmon. Very good for you as well. Ryan, any shows in Dublin coming up? Well, we were meant to have a show 2 weeks before Christmas, and the bloody location gave it to somebody else. I can't wait to see who they gave it to, because I'm going to go and boo. But I'm thinking about doing... because it's 10 years of the United Stand at the end of December. So I'm thinking about doing a 10-year show in Dublin in early January. If anybody thinks it would do well. And instead of doing it on a Monday night, I'm thinking about doing it on like a Friday night or something like that. Raya has beaten Edison in our first either or, 55% to 45%. I agree. I never say my opinion until the poll is over. I agree. I thought of that one as well, and I agree. I think Raya is better than Edison. I think Edison is a little bit overrated, actually. Ronaldo said R9 or Van Basten poll. I mean... it's so unfair because hardly anybody will have seen Van Basten. So, Kyra's at the game. Arsenal are doing well at the moment. I'm very interested to see how Arsenal will do on Sunday. Isak or Watkins? I will do it January. I think I know that. I think I know the result already, but I will do it. I think I've put. I'm treating Isak like a battery here because I've put double A. Is he double A? No, he's 1A. There we go. Middlesbrough were offered Martinelli in Brazil for 45,000 when he was 16 and turned it down, says Ian Nichols. There we go. It's another interesting story. James isn't feeling very well. Hope you're feeling better soon, James. Yeah, we're doing embarrassing stories. We're not getting many people wanting to share them. I shared one right at the top of the show, which was a true one. It wasn't me. I'll give you one of mine that was true. I just have to be a bit careful about the detail because it's only 8:10. So I went round a friend's house when I was about 18 and I stayed the night. And in the morning, my friends, I want to say, I'm just going to say girlfriend, because if I say friend, people are going to think it's a boy, and I just don't want that. I've got nothing against it. It's just not my thing. And why would I have anything against it? Actually, you know, it's the world, and we're all living in it, but it's just not for me. I know what I want, and it's not that. Anyway, so I'm not going to say I went around my friend's house because I don't want people. I don't mind. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just saying it was a girl. So I went round a girl's house who was a friend. On a Saturday night to watch a film, and I was staying over the night. Their parents were fine about it because I was going to stay in a different room upstairs. They were getting up early the next day to go away to Belfast because I was in Ireland, and Belfast was just up the road. I lived just outside Dublin. Anyway, woke up at about 7:30 because I heard the door go. And off they went. And about an hour later, my girlfriend, came in, and we played around a little bit. We didn't play Monopoly, let's put it that way. Anyway, what we were playing was quite loud, let's say. And we were getting very excited. It was like the best game of Monopoly ever. Anyway, after that, I wanted a shower, and she was still lying, recovering, whatever. And I got out of the shower and was saying stuff about what a good game it was. And I went downstairs and said, I'll make us a coffee and stuff. Anyway, about 3, 4, 5 minutes later, she came down with the look of death. And I was like, what's wrong? And I said some other stuff because I've always got banter. And she came down and said, you're not going to believe it. I was like, well, you can't be pregnant that quick. It'd be a world record. And she said, no. My mum didn't go to Belfast. She's not feeling very well. Wow, my heart sunk. I was just like, oh my God. Because the house they lived in wasn't that big. It was like a 4-bedroom house, and the door to their room was not closed, and the door to that room that we were in was not closed. So yeah, there's just no way. Even if you'd been asleep with the flu, you'd have woke up. I was just like, oh yeah, that was a one of them where a little bit like when your dad found your porn stash, mate. Yeah, it was an embarrassing moment. Yeah. Do you agree that Haaland isn't that great when playing against a good defence? Not saying he isn't a great player, I just think he's been kept quiet. I think this is a good question from Yusuf. I think Erling Haaland is the world's best striker, but I think he's a service striker. I think that the world's best goalkeeper is not a very good goalkeeper when he plays in a team where he doesn't have anything to do. And that's the way I think about Haaland. If you've got the world's best goalkeeper, but he never has to make any saves, and you never use him as a sweeper keeper, and he never has to play out from the back, then you may as well have me in goal. It's pointless. And if you've got the world's best striker, but you can't get any service to him, then he's redundant as well. I don't think it's Haaland's responsibility to score goals when he's not getting any service. And that's the problem. We've seen Haaland be silenced loads of times. And this conversation comes up all the time. Great save by the goalkeeper there. Saka, free kick, went low under the wall. Keeper got down well. And it was a very, very good save. Different type of free kick. I mean, he doesn't really get full purchase on it, I don't think. But it's good save by the goalkeeper. But yeah. We get this all the time. You know, you'll get Haaland scoring, what? Has he got 8 goals in 3 games in the Premier League? And people will say, oh my God, he's a robot. And then he gets silenced by Inter, and everyone goes, he's limited. He's the world's best striker, but he needs service. Simple as that. Alias says Haaland is a flat track bully. Bend down, please. Feels so good, says Nicole. Okay. Rank Barcelona, Manchester United and Real Madrid. I mean, I don't know how you rank them, darling, because I'll always put Man United first. Welcome to the Members Club, Sarah. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate that. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. I've had a few come in. What do you think about Gio Queiroz, Mark? Says Dizzy. I think he'll end up in the Premier League at some point. I think the problem at the moment is he was never going to leave because Sporting priced him out of a move. And people don't have that sort of money at the moment, which is why, you know, Villa don't need to sell Watkins. Newcastle don't need to sell Isak. Nomad Joe says, every guy's embarrassing moment getting caught by your parents while doing the business. Couldn't agree more, Mark. It's all Pep's fault that Haaland doesn't get the service. Pep seems to be allergic to crosses, says Jackie. Atalanta on the attack here. Good play. Nice little dink to the back post. Ooh, good defending by Declan Rice. Goes out for a corner. Red card to Barcelona, says Riley. Don't know how true that is. Isak. Oh my God. Fair play to the chat. I'm going to end this. This has stunned me. So we had a poll running. Isak or Watkins. Corner to Atalanta. Edge of the box. Ederson. Whips it in. And headed over the bar. We had a poll going of Isak or Watkins. Watkins has got 15%, 58%. Isak has got 58%, beating Watkins. I would go Watkins over Isak. I would, but I thought that's what you lot would do. But respect. I'm in the minority on that one. I quite like this one from Chula. I'm going to do it. Our next either or is going to be Rashford or Luis Diaz. Monaco have scored against Barcelona, and Barcelona are down to 10 men. Garcia sent off. Barcelona are just like Man United, aren't they? It's like massive club, but just can't seem to find any stability or consistency. I think with Watkins, people are starting to go off him a little bit, aren't they? Like Vibe Check says, I think Watkins is better, but so far this season, Watkins has been a letdown. Arsenal, shoot! Martinelli! He's a player who could do better, Martinelli. How old is Martinelli now? I think at some point he's got to start hitting the consistency. There's no doubt he's talented. He's really, really quick. But 23, only just 23. But he needs to find the consistency, I think, now. Mike Naylor says, does anyone understand the new Champions League format? It just seems like a load of random games. It's actually quite easy, mate. Every team plays 8 games. I believe there are 32 teams in it. And the top 8 after 8 games in the league go through. You don't play everybody, obviously. You just play 8 games. The top 8 go through. And then from 8th to 24, they play a playoff. So that's how it works. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of games, I will say that. If you go through the playoffs to win it, you end up playing 4 more games than you would have done last season. 36 teams, sorry. 36 teams. It definitely is a cash grab from UEFA, though. It's too many games. Because somebody was saying the other day, to win it last year, you played 6 group games and then you went into the round of 16. So you played 6 group games, 2 in the last round of 16, 2 in the last 8, 2 in the semi-final, and then the final. So it's 7 plus 6, 13 games. This year, you get 8. Then, if you have to go in the playoffs, that's 10. Then you've got round of 16. Then you got last 8. Then you got semi-finals. Then you got the final. So it's 17 games compared to, what did I say before? I need to write that down. So there's 17 games now if you go through the playoff. I mean, that's half a season. That's half a domestic season. It's incredible. 8 games. 2 in the playoff, that's 10. Then you're in the last 16. Then you're in the last 8. Then you're in the last 4. Yeah, 17 games. Whereas before, you did 6, last 16, last 8, last 4, 13. Yeah, so you're doing another 4 games, aren't you? 13 last season, 17 this year. Greg Newman says nobody in the playoffs is getting to the final. Well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because what if you finish 9th? If you finish 9th, you're in the playoffs. Jack Length says 17 is more than 13. You're right, Jack. I agree with the players wanting to strike, but I'll talk about more of that on the podcast tomorrow. We'll be live on here at midday. Uh, 4-2-4 formation with United playing Rasmus and Xerxes up top. I don't think it'll work in real life, mate, but I am thinking about trying it on my career mode. I don't know why I can't do this at the moment. That's better. I feel like my whole thing has moved across a little bit, and I don't know why. I feel like I want to do this, but I keep covering up my face. Comic Space Terror says, why change something that no one was complaining about? Money, mate. Money. It was because big clubs wanted the Super League. And that confuses me because Real Madrid want the Super League. The hypocrisy of the Super League is clear, right? Real Madrid wanted the Super League. Man United signed up for the Super League. Barcelona did. All the big clubs signed up for the Super League. And the Super League apparently wasn't going to change anything about domestic football. But the Super League would have been, you know, a massive amount of games. And then you'd have the domestic league. And what we all knew was the Super League would have been the death of the Premier League and the European Cup, etc. So UEFA, to appease those owners, brought in more games in the UEFA League because that's what Florentino Perez wants. But the players don't want it. The fans don't want it. So basically, we're just playing more games so that owners of clubs can earn more money. But the players don't want it and the fans don't want it. It's a joke. Who do you think would suit the deep line midfielder role better at Man United, De Jong or Agate? I think right now Agate, mate, because we need someone to win the ball back, whereas De Jong would be very good on the ball, but wouldn't be great at getting you the ball. Vibor says, I love your shows. You get us through tough times. Found out a friend's dad's got leukemia. Any advice on how to be there for them? I feel helpless. I think you never know how people are going to deal with stuff like that. I had a friend who had terminal cancer and just wasn't the sort of person that wanted help and stuff. So I think the best thing you can do is just, you know, I wouldn't be around their house all the time, but I wouldn't let, you know, I'd let them know that you're there if they need anything. Just be supportive and say, look, anything you need, anytime, I'm there. And then that, you know, because some people don't actually, when they're ill, want people around all the time. They're going through their own battle and they feel that, you know, they want to deal with it on their own. But good luck with it, Vibber, and I hope your friend's dad comes through it. Danny Lockwood with the super chat says, either or, embarrassing. Your dad finding your nudie stash or finding your dad's. Also, Martinelli 14 games, 0 assists, 0 goals, no mention versus Anthony. Well, that's what I mean about Martinelli, Danny. I think Martinelli is a good player. Speak to me, Arsenal fans. But I also think that, you know, he needs to produce more. Definitely. What's more embarrassing, your dad finding your nudie stash or you finding your dad's? I mean, to be honest, mate, at a certain age, if I found my dad's, it would be a bonus. We didn't have the internet. Don't mind me says, to be honest, 100k a week to play games and they want to strike. The sport is full of prima donnas. Love to see them with real jobs in the real world. I mean, that's the flip side. Don't mind me. That is the flip side. I'm not going to argue with it. Hi, Mark. I mean, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. If you're available at midday, tune in live tomorrow. But we'll start that debate then, and we'll actually have a poll for it. Hi, Mark. Question: if you in charge of United back in 2016, do you choose Kevin De Bruyne or Salah? My name is Taman. So basically, you're asking me who I'd take in 2016, De Bruyne or Salah. It's a great question, and I feel that it's a poll. Rashford 32%, Luis Diaz 68%. I think you're right. As much as I want to say Rashford, I think you're right. I think Luis Diaz as a winger offers more. Rashford at his best, very, 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 very good goal-scoring winger, but I think Diaz is more balanced. So I'm surprised it was that high. Either or, KDB or Salah. Just don't forget the 2016 because we can imagine that. Mrs. Stone is back. Welcome back. Keep your legs shut. If you know, you know. You can't really go wrong with either, Castro. You're right. Cross into the box from Atalanta. It's interesting, isn't it? The Italian league would be pretty happy. Inter 0-0 against Man City. And Atalanta at the moment doing quite well against Arsenal. Rob says it's got to be De Bruyne, weaken City and strengthen yourself. No, I'm not thinking about it like that, Rob. It's an interesting way to think about it, but I'm not going to say it until the poll's over anyway. But I'm trying. It's a bloody good one. That's a bloody good either or. If you were buying for your club, prime Salah or prime De Bruyne, which would you take? Because they've both got pros and cons. You know what I feel like watching tonight? Begins with... No. I feel like re-watching my FIFA career mode from today. No, I feel like watching some classic in-betweeners tonight. Lee says, is it me or is your red shirt glowing and radiating today? Says Lee. I don't know, but Yamal's just scored. Sometimes colours do pop off. I think embarrassing stories has not gone as well as I thought it was going to go. I think people are embarrassed to share them. But you got a good couple of ones out of me. I tell you what, you know what I was saying last night about when I go into the supermarket, it's always quite quiet, and then I'll walk round to the aisle where I want something, like, you know, something random. It might be like Lynx Africa, and then I'll go where it is, and there'll be 3 grannies stood there looking at Lynx Africa, and I can't get anywhere near it. Trust me, that's what will happen. Well, today I went into the supermarket, wasn't very busy again, and what was after today? I wanted some salmon. And what did I buy today? Oh, shot just wide, the Ketlia. Anyway, as I walked round the corner to the salmon aisle, I just had visions that I'd walked past 3 aisles, no one was on them. I'm going to get to the salmon aisle and there'll be about 40 people there. Thankfully, there wasn't. Swag Dad says if she wasn't your mum, you're filthy, mate. Do you think FCSB have got any chance against United? Who are they? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Daniel says, prediction for Man City against Arsenal. What do Arsenal need to do to stop City against them this weekend? Also, do you like FC25? Can't wait to play tomorrow's stream, mate. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. I think a lot of it's to do with the fact that I actually got a bit lucky and started off quite well points-wise. So I'm thinking about, you know, Season 1... on my career modes, traditionally, I'm lucky if I get top 4. So I'm very happy with my start. There's a lot of work to do, though. But, yeah, looking forward to it. Man City, Arsenal. I personally think that the best Arsenal are going to get out of that is a draw. Rub says, I've just joined. Kevin De Bruyne versus Salah poll. So are we doing which transfer out Chelsea regrets the most? Says Rub. That is so locked. Salah and De Bruyne is going to be an epic either or tonight, I think. It is locked at the moment. It's Salah 51%, but Yamal seems extremely promising. Hope he doesn't become another Ansu Fati, says Mrs. Stone. No, I think he's a very, very good player. Bon makes a great point. Is the grannies you're talking about your age? Because where I live, grannies are getting younger and younger. This is a great point. I know grannies who are in their 30s. They're younger than me. But when I think of a granny, I'm talking over 70. So the world is changing, isn't it? Do you think we're getting more healthy or less healthy? I think a certain percentage of people are getting more healthy, but I think a larger percentage are getting less healthy. I'm really into this topic. I don't know about you. I feel like I need to delve into different types of podcasts that are more lifestyle, because I feel like I should be on the Stephen Bartlett podcast talking about this, saying, Stephen, let me speak. Oh, hold on a minute. No, Jesus doesn't even know where the fucking ball is. What a prat. Yeah, I genuinely think that when I was growing up, my parents and that generation had no idea about food combination, gym, stuff like that. I don't think people even went to the gym in like the late 80s, early 90s. And I don't think anybody had a bloody clue about what they were eating. So I think there are certain people out there that are health conscious. They watch what they eat. They know what right foods to eat. They do a lot of gym work. But then also, I think we were more active when I was growing up. Certainly as younger people, we were down the park, playing out all the time, burning off energy, way more active. Whereas a lot of people sit on their big fat arse, eating shit, swiping on TikTok. So I think the balance of life around health is quite different. Tabasco says, Gilf. Well, to be honest with you, I was speaking to one of the editors at a well-known porn website down the pub quite recently, and they said they've basically had to cancel the Gilf category because Gilf was really, you know, for niche men who like the thought of over 60s, whereas a gilf now is technically a MILF. Less healthy, so much processed food, so much sugar and everything. Children, obesity is through the roof, says Mrs. Stone. Damien, do you have a favourite porn star? No. There's just so many. No, I'm joking. Search. What's the best dream you've ever had? Oh, I've had so many good dreams. You know what? I've had so many good dreams. This game is a little bit one of those, isn't it? We're delving into a watch-along that's sort of more about chat than football, but I am watching it with you. What are the watch-alongs for Saturday, Dale? I will tell you now. Stare Bucharest, says Philippe. I'm looking forward to it, but I think United will win, yeah. I've had so many good dreams. I've had so many good dreams. I almost think, I wish when you die, you just go into loads of dreams. Like your brain just stops and your soul just goes into the dream. I'd love that, because there's so many good dreams I've woken up from. I mean, I've been in brilliant situations before, and then I wake up and I don't know why. I don't know why. Like, so many times I've been that close to, like, oh yes, it's going to happen, and then I wake up. But I've also had some horrific dreams. I think if you're a creative, you've got to put up with the highs and the lows mentally. But if you're a creative, I think you get... Well, no, I'm not being arrogant about being a creative, actually. That's bullshit. But I am quite creative, and I do have highs and I do have lows. That's natural. But because I'm quite creative, I also have amazing dreams and horrific dreams. Oh, my God. I mean, who'd have thought Jaws, Darth Vader, and a polar bear could all survive in the same room? And all want to kill me slowly. It's just crazy. I'm there like this trying to wake myself up. I'm just glad I did wake up, because if that was real, that's horrific. We need to find Mojo. I don't know what's going on with Mojo. Makes me feel sad. Weekend watch-alongs are... Well, Man United are playing at 5:30, so that sort of kills off anything on Saturday for me, because... I have a couple of things that I'll have to do on a match day. So I was thinking about West Ham Chelsea, but to be honest with you, I'm not convinced it's going to be that good. So I'm going to do Crystal Palace against Man United at 5:30 on Saturday, and obviously Sunday takes care of itself. There's no contest. It's Brighton against Forest. Fuck Man City Arsenal. Of course, it's Man City Arsenal on Sunday, and then next week we're back into Europe again. Tuesday, we've got... No, we haven't got Europa League on Tuesday. There's Carabao Cup on Tuesday, which I won't do. Chelsea Barrow and Man City Watford. Get out. Wednesday, Man United are playing 20. Thursday, Tottenham play Carabao. It's quite quiet next week then, really, because I couldn't give a shit about the Carabao Cup. Newcastle Man City a week on Saturday is good. Wolves Liverpool at 5:30. I'll probably do both of those. Man United must be playing on a Sunday then. Spurs, yeah. Yeah. God, there's another... I hate to say it, but there's another international break coming soon. We demand Chelsea versus West Ham watch along, says Rub. I would have probably done it, but I know I'm doing something on Saturday lunchtime. Grilled cheese or bacon and eggs? Oh, probably go with the grilled cheese, mate. Mrs. Stone, thanks for your super chat. I think I've read all the super chats now. Thanks for everyone who's done a super chat. We'll always read those out for you now. I can't believe it took me 4 years to realise there was a way to have your live chat and then your super chat. The amount I used to miss. Cara had a dream that Cavani took me shopping in Manchester, smothered me with ice cream and licked it off me, starting with my crap. Okay, Cara, that's enough. That is enough. Oh, actually, I've misread that, Cara. She said, I had a dream once that Cavani took me shopping in Manchester and then we bought me a house together. I don't know what was my brain doing there. Well, I wish you were a Chelsea fan. This is corrupt. Yeah, half your fan base doesn't. Geordie says top 4 versus a trophy. Can you remind me of that one from Geordie? I like that. We'll do an either or on that. I used to know a Geordie once. A true Geordie. Anyway, we'll leave that one. I had, yeah, we're definitely, the mood I'm in, we'll leave that one. Don't ask me about controversial stuff. Will Chelsea get top 4, Mark? Says Zetti. I think they've got a good chance. I think they have got a good chance. But I think 4th place is not worth predicting because I think you've got Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton, Spurs, Villa. Very competitive. 4th place is more interesting than the title race and relegation. But hopefully this will be the year where we do get a 5th place in the Champions League because we should have bloody got it last year. Mrs. Stone says, which trophy for the 4th? Lennox says, favourite Oasis song? Gotham City. That is sung by an absolute prat, actually. Don't say that. You can't sing P. Diddy songs now, can you? He's been arrested, hasn't he? Best thing you can do in life is just don't think that your heroes are good people that you're going to have round for a Sunday dinner. That's what I always say about Man United players. They're legends as players. They're legends as players, and I leave it there. Because God have I been disappointed. Parker says, who's your Geordie, Mark? Did she have the big ones? When are you retiring from YouTube, Mark? Says Roman. I don't know. I'm not ready to go yet. I thought I was ready about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I seriously thought that I'd probably do 2 more years. But it's weird. I've never been this. I think that this is the problem with age, isn't it? You know, you look at people like Alan Sugar and David Attenborough. They just don't retire, do they? So you think you're going to get to a point where you're going to want to stop, and then sometimes you just get another gear. So I don't really have any inclination at the moment. I have, over the last 3 years, had times where I've really thought, oh, I've had enough of it. But I think it's the time of year as well. My favourite time of the year traditionally is sort of now till Christmas. So I'm probably not going to get those sort of thoughts then. And I love doing these sort of streams are great for me. Because United's so intense because it's your team. These sort of streams, I'd never get away with this on the United stand. You know, if I tried to talk about embarrassing moments, I'd get somebody going, talk about why Maguire's wearing a short sleeve shirt instead of a long sleeve shirt. It's Jude. Do you think Lindelof could play as a number 10 in an injury crisis? Do you think if everybody in the United team broke their ankle, apart from Delo, he could play as a holding midfielder? If everybody wasn't available, would you play the Glazers in goal? You know. Talk about the game, says Liam. There's not a lot to talk about in the game because typically, like last night, this is like a classic Serie A game from the early 90s. They are just playing. They're playing a game. I've played the game, but not a lot's happening. Scott says, never ever retire, Mark. I think the thing for me is projects. I need projects that every year or so, I need a new project so that I can maintain everything else, but be excited. And that, I think history shows that out. You know, the radio show, I did it for 2 years and I sort of just got fed up of it. And the people I was working with, And, you know, I'm doing the podcast at the moment, which I enjoy. FIFA career mode, I thought I was going to stop. Did it today. Really still enjoy it. Driving with Goldbridge last week. Haven't done it for ages. Did it. Gave me a boost. It's not always about the views. It's not always about, you know, financial reasons. I've done stuff like that. Remember last season when we did it on this channel for Christmas Eve, where we did like that World Cup? I was in goal and everyone was trying to score. We lost loads of money on that. I loved it. Sometimes you've got to do stuff for you. You don't do stuff for the money. It's very important that you keep some of your inspiration for you. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. If you're at work and you enjoy every Thursday pretending you're going for a dump when actually you just sat on the toilet watching a podcast, and that keeps you motivated, do it. Is this the tightest poll yet? I'm glad you're talking about the poll, mate. I thought you were sat at home shoving a poll up your arse. Salah against De Bruyne. I knew this was going to happen. It's 50-50. Roman says, would you ever run a marathon, Mark? I respect people who do run it, but I think it's just a bit of a everybody does it at the moment. It's like a bit of a dick measuring competition, isn't it? There's so many influencers running marathons, and look at me, I've done another 5k. And look, a lot of them are doing it for mental health reasons, which is great for themselves. It's fitness, but it doesn't. I don't need to run a marathon to help I don't need that. It doesn't. Well, I find running boring. I'd rather run a bath. I do like fitness stuff, and it's very, very good for you. But running, I know I've just been very dismissive of people who run, but I just find it boring as shit. And again, I'm just going to say it how it is. I don't care if you're offended because I don't like running. I find it really boring. I thought I'd like swimming, and I went swimming once, and I actually got really hot and tired. I went first length. I went for it. I was just like breaststroke. I'm brilliant at that, and I was knackered after the first length. And I thought swimming would be just really easy, really good for you, and you'd always feel quite cool. I was really hot, and after I got out, even though I had a shower, I was booming heat off me for about an hour. Don't mind me, says pick one. A girl with bad breath or bad body odour. Neither. Why would I pick a girl who can't be asked to brush her teeth and can't be asked to have a wash? Jog on. There's a fiver. Get yourself some Lynx Africa and toothpaste, you tramp. I'm not actually, when I use the word tramp, I'm not like being derogatory to anybody there. It's just a term for, you know, brushy teeth. With Serie A and Bundesliga having new champions, is the Premier League now the new Farmers League? It's just one team in England winning these days. Thoughts on United Academy player? Yeah, I'm not reading that, Levi. Scott says never retire. Can Southampton realistically stay up, Mark, says Big Man? No. No, they've got no chance. I don't think Ipswich and Leicester have got much chance, but I don't think Southampton have got any chance, honestly. I've seen them before Man United, but watching them play Man United, I was intrigued by all their possession, but I just can't see it. You know, I just can't see it. There's too many good teams in the Premier League. The Fulhams, the Wolves, the Forest, the Evertons. They've got too much experience. They'll do Southampton. What's this crap? Fifth Gear. Looks like a bloody parody of Top Gear. What a load of shite. I'd be brilliant on Gogglebox. Remember when I did Gogglebox? There's a brilliant episode. I don't know whether Jack Mate still got it. He did like a YouTube box. Oh, I don't know why he didn't do it again. I'd love to be on Gogglebox. It's basically what I do. Moan about everything. London, Dublin or Oslo for a vacation? Well, I'd love to go to Oslo because I love London and Dublin, RT, but I've been there loads. I've never been to Oslo. YOLO says, it's half time, by the way. Let me stop the clock. It is half time. And let me just say this. It's not been great. And it's a tough Tommy Tank. If you're an Arsenal fan, it's probably what I expect to happen at the weekend. I mean, no shots on target for Atalanta. 2 shots on target for Arsenal, which I can't even remember. Very, very equal game. I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta's knocking on the door now saying we've got a game on Sunday. Do you mind if we just end it at half time and take a point each? YOLO says, how's your day going? I've got a question for you. Do you think if City get relegated, which probably won't because they're scabby, how big of an impact will it have on the Premier League? I think the Premier League would be a very interesting league without Man City in it. The circumstances of that we can argue about, but I think it would be a very interesting league without them in it. Definitely. My mental health is bad, says Gav Talk Podcast. And you don't help it. Well, don't watch it then. There you go, Gav. Really, really good tip for you with your mental health. Don't watch something that doesn't do you very good. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, Gav. It's not my job or anyone in the community to make you feel bad. If it makes you feel bad, don't watch it. What job did you do before the United stand, Mark? Says J Money. I was in the army. No, I wasn't. I was working in banking before this job. Just before it. Don't think one side would be winning the Premier League back to back without City, which would be more exciting. Yes. And I don't know what to do here. We're locked in on either or, Kevin De Bruyne or Salah. It was a brilliant super chat about 20 minutes ago where I was asked the question, would I take Kevin De Bruyne or Salah in 2016 to Manchester United, knowing what I know now? And I said, I'm going to put it as a poll. And you're locked 50-50. So I'm going to answer the question because you've had long enough to sort of decide who the winner is. If I had to take prime De Bruyne or Salah, oh God, I was going to say De Bruyne then, and then I just moved back to Salah. I think De Bruyne, because he plays centrally and creates so much and scores so much, but then Salah scores so much and does create. It's so difficult. I prefer flair players as well. And I know De Bruyne is a flair player, but Salah is a winger. I prefer wingers. I've always preferred wingers. It's tough. I won't not answer it. Salah. Yeah, I'm going Salah. I nearly went De Bruyne, but I'm going to go Salah. Juan says, why do cyclists are as anyone as they can get? I don't know what that meant to mean there. Thoughts on Phil Jones's comments on his career, says Jide. I didn't really read them, but I saw something where Phil Jones has said that people come up to him and feel sorry for him. And he said, I've been to 2 World Cups, played for United for 10 years. Look, I think that's a great attitude for Phil Jones to have because he's done more than any of us have done, unless we've got Ryan Giggs in the chat. But I think what people are saying is that you were injured a lot and it must have been mentally quite difficult to know that, you know, you could have had a much better career. But it's nice that he takes the positives because that's a very, very, very well-known strategy for anybody that is struggling with something, is to take the positive. So I quite enjoyed that he said that. I mean, it wouldn't be what I would say, but it's good that he's in that position. Leroy says the NFL added more games for the owners to make money. I think the NFL season should just be longer. I hate the fact that it's only September to Christmas. Man City player agents now panicking, looking for a way out for their players before being sent to the National League. Premier League will be far more exciting, says Red Army. Liam says, don't worry, Giggs is out with Rooney looking for gilfs. No, we were saying this. Gilfs now are in their 30s. Not when he looked at his bank account, says Simon Woodward. What are your tips for having fabulous hair? I mean, it's just natural, mate. Very lucky to have it. My dad doesn't. Direct says, do you watch the overlap? I'm probably one of the few people that don't. It's probably a really good show, to be fair, but I just can't. I can't watch it. I know too much. I can't watch the Linekers either. I know too much. I just can't. There's a problem. I can't watch people like there's certain actors. I just don't watch their films because I know. You just need some Just for Men, Mark, says Zetty. It is half time at the moment, yes. Right, I'm going to end this poll because it will tell me, and if you're quick enough in the live chat, you will see. De Bruyne won. De Bruyne had 50 point something and Salah had 49 point something. 7,500 votes. Kevin De Bruyne did win it. There we go. Right, I'm going to do another poll now because I haven't forgotten. There was a question earlier and it was top 4 or trophy. So I am going to pick the trophy because imagine if I said top 4 or the Premier League. Well, technically it's both. Top 4 or let's make it difficult. I can't say Europa League because you get Champions League football with that. It's got to be FA Cup. That's the best thing you can win without getting the Champions League. So top 4 or FA Cup. That is the quiz. It's got to be that. Yeah, we're not doing Gilfs or Milfs, Bobby. We're not doing that. If you tuned in a little bit late, we've had a few embarrassing stories that I've shared. One of mine and one of a friend who got caught on the end of his bed having a Tommy tank by his mum and then had to go and have dinner. I was also asked a question at the start, what animals could I beat in a running race? And surprisingly, I didn't get past cows. I definitely would beat a cow in a running race, but apparently some people think I wouldn't. And I'm absolutely going to make this happen. There is no way I'm losing to a cow. I'd be there going, you stupid cow. I will not lose to a cow. I wanted to progress past cow and actually get into a debate about whether I'd beat a kangaroo. Hoppy twats. I reckon I could beat a kangaroo because I think as it jumps, it might slip, fall on its head. Can't get up because it's got little hands and I'll sprint off. I think a kangaroo is quicker than me, but in a race, it might get a little bit agitated, nervous, and just slip. And then I'll just run past it like the tortoise and the hare. I'm never going to beat a rabbit. I will beat a sheep. I will beat a pig. I will beat a cow. I wouldn't beat a horse. I wouldn't beat a cat. Definitely going to beat a squirrel. Squirrels are slow. People think squirrels are fast. They're not. They look fast because they're going up. Then on a flat surface going forward, they're slow. They're so slow. I laugh at squirrels running along the pavement. I'm like, you are slow, mate. You look fast because you're doing something I can't do, climbing a tree. Oh, look at you, you little show off with your bushy tail, climbing a tree and hopping from one tree to another. Let's have a race on a running track. See who wins then. No, we're not doing hurdles because you can do that. I've seen you jump and I've seen you climb. We're doing a straight race. And then when I've won that, I'll say, go and play with your nuts. You got owned. Ridwan says, are there any pundits you actually like? No, I do like Roy Keane as a pundit. I like Paul Scholes as a pundit. I think Frank Lampard's not bad as a pundit, actually. I think he's actually... It's the one place his IQ really does stand out. Mika Richards, I like him. Ian Wright's quite good as well. See, I've given you a few there. Would you have rather signed Bale in 2013 or Hazard in 2012? Well, I will put that as a poll as well, Mikey boy. I think that's a good one. Spin says, thank you very much for the super chat, Spin. Absolute legend. I bet the Premier League players saw your video about the lack of shots outside the box and taking players on. Ironic, but we've had a few worldies the last few weeks. I'd love to claim that spin. I really, really would, but I don't think that. Khan says, get relegated or be nonced by... Yeah, okay, we're not doing that one. Love that. Thank you very much. Gakpo says, fight a crocodile or a bear. Do you think you could knock a crocodile out if it let you have a free punch? If it went... I don't think you could. I think you could knock a bear out because you actually are smacking its jaw. But I think knocking a crocodile out, I think it's got such a complex skin and jaw. I don't think you can knock a crocodile out. I don't. Zetti said, why does it not work for Lampard to manage a team then? I don't think being a manager makes you a great pundit, mate. Oh, but there's plenty of managers I've seen be put on ITV or BBC in the World Cup and they're absolute shite. I think Souness is not a bad pundit, Dylan, apart from his bitterness towards Man United. I think actually, if you get him talking about Spurs, where he's got no horse in the race, he's actually a decent pundit, Souness. It's just a lot of them are very bitter. AJ says, a buddy back in university got pissed and our friend superglued shut his behind. Had to shower with paint thinner. Bloody hell. Some of the stuff people do when they're drunk. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And can I just say a big shout out to everybody who's been getting involved in the career mode that started today. My Man United career mode. Very excited. We'll be back again live tomorrow at 3. Your dad says, I reckon I could knock out a newborn bear. Why would you want to do that? That's cruel, mate. That's just cruel. Wait till it grows up. Chris B says, kangaroos kidnap dogs. Mate, they do not kidnap dogs, right? Do you know the definition of kidnap, right? I'm sorry to jump on this. The definition of a kidnapping is to abduct and hold something captive, typically to obtain a ransom. Okay? Kangaroos ain't going into people's gardens in Australia, taking the dog and then ringing up on their mobile phone and saying, give me some of your sausages or your dog's getting thrown in the outback. I think they probably take dogs to do something with them. I don't want to speculate whether it's sexual or eating them. But, yeah, I don't think they're doing it for a ransom. Souness is Pogba's favourite pundit, says Rub. Are City over-reliant on Haaland now? I mean, he's a massive part of their system, Niloy, definitely. Definitely. I seen a very good clip once of a kangaroo in the outback attacking this bloke's dog. So the dog runs over to the kangaroo to try and scare it. And the kangaroo squares up to the bloke, starts trying to punch him. And they end up like this and the bloke hits him. I don't know whether it was staged or not, but they start having a bit of a fight. Liam says, kangaroos are rats. Aren't they? Begins with an M. I'm going to get the word completely wrong. Marsupials or something like that? I don't know what they are. I don't know what that is. Jordan C makes a great point. How could you stage a fight with a kangaroo? Might be Skippy. The bush kangaroo, who's very intelligent, like Flipper. Remember Gentle Ben? I loved that series, Gentle Ben. Wasn't that on the water? Didn't they used to go on a bloody... Didn't they live on a swamp or something? I don't know. The shit I used to watch. Gakpo says, do you have a phobia of anything? This is a good question, Gakpo. We're up and running for the second half, by the way. Think about your phobias. Whilst this is going up... Oh, it won't. It's not even on. Whilst this is going up, I'm just going to have a refill. Hey, up. There's no way I'm going to be back by the time that's up. Imagine if I was naked. Sorry, everybody. I was a little bit late there because I went to get my red wine. And then, in the kitchen, I saw 2 pecans on the floor. And I was trying to find out who's been eating my pecans. They're not cheap. They're not. Pecans are not cheap. 65% said that they would rather have top 4. Penalty. Penalty, Atalanta. Penalty, Atalanta. And it's Ederson who wins it. Goldbridge returns at the right time. Really good run by Ederson. And it's Partey who's giving it up. It does look a little bit soft, but to be honest with you, there is no part of me that thinks that's not a... There's no Partey of me that thinks that's not a penalty. Yeah, he gets him. You can just tell. I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that, but he's definitely clipped him. Definitely a penalty. That's bad news for Arsenal. Makes the game interesting, though. I mean, Ederson absolutely rinsed him there, didn't he? I mean, what's Arteta saying no for? It's clearly a penalty. They're VAR checking it. I don't know why. Don't you feel it's a completely new tournament with the new format? Achievements now can't be compared to before. There'll always be that caveat. No. The European Cup's the European Cup, Sanks. The European Cup up until the 90s was a knockout tournament with the winner of every league in it. Now you get the top 4 in a group stage. Now you've just got a bigger group stage. It still goes to a knockout. I mean, this is 100% a penalty. Yeah, 100%. Clips him on the back foot. I don't know why they're taking so long. Unless I'm missing something here, they're obviously a little bit dubious. Maybe it was on the line or something like that. Zeti says, I'd love to go for a pint with you, mate. I would love to go for it with a pint with you, mate. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat, though. I'd be getting very pissed. Kenneth says, what's your stance on big spiders in the house? Do you release them back to nature or flatten them? Yeah, penalty given. I don't kill spiders, Kenneth. I've always been against that. I don't know whether it's a myth, but I think they're actually quite good for your home, aren't they? Because they kill other things. But here we go. I sometimes throw them out the window. I haven't missed your super chat, Hadder. It's just we've got a penalty going on at the moment. So we're just waiting to see what happens. He looks a bit nervous. A good time to score. Here he goes. We're right behind this. Good camera angle. Saved it. Double save. Oh my God. What a double save by Raya. That is, you know, you're absolutely fuming with him. Absolutely fuming with him. To miss the first one's bad. But he's got an open fucking goal. Ah, that is crap. That is absolutely crap. What the bloody hell is he doing? It's brilliant, brilliant goalkeeping. Remember I did that poll at the start of the show? Edison or Raya? Raya's a good goalkeeper. Very good goalkeeper. Saves the penalty, then gets up and saves the follow-up. So good goalkeepers are worth their weight in gold. Fantastic keeping. El Nasser says maybe VAR was telling the referee to look after himself. Stephen Rossi says, I've had a recurring fear of never seeing Man United win the Premier League again. It's been a decade. Do a poll on if the Community Shield is a trophy, says Hader. Okay, we'll do that one next. Taylor says, you're a ringer of Keir Starmer. I look nothing like Keir Starmer. That's the first time anyone's ever said that, Taylor, and I look nothing like him. Crap penalty, says Diesel. It was a crap penalty, but he should have scored the follow-up. Chris says, get Raya on UK border control. No one's getting in. It's a Malbec TF1. Officially, it's a Malbec. Do I have a phobia of anything? I don't think there's anything that I sort of... I wouldn't see a spider and shit myself. So, no, I don't think... yeah, I don't think that massively bothers me. I'm trying to think if I've got a phobia of any. I do have a phobia or something. I just can't remember what it is. Atalanta are dominating at the moment, though, aren't they? Knocking it around quite nicely. I do like Edison. I mean, I like Edison anyway. I would not have been opposed to United going for him in the summer, but if we go for him next summer, put him in a midfield with Agate, I think he'd work really well. But I think other clubs will look at him as well. Yeah. But it's all Atalanta at the moment. Nice little dink cross, headed away. I mean, for Arsenal, this is good practice for Sunday, though, isn't it? I think they're going to play deep in that game. I've lost my live chat. Oh, no, it is. There it is. James Phillips says, how many times a week do you watch a goalkeeper save and think, Onana wouldn't have managed that? I don't think Onana can do that, actually. And that's not really a criticism. Well, it is, isn't it, actually? But I don't think Onana's got the body to make that save and then get up and move that quick. I've always said Onana, to me, just looks a little bit too top-heavy. He's too muscly. I think to make those sort of saves, you've got to be like David De Gea, Raya. You know, it's agility, isn't it? Netflix or Amazon, Mark? I don't really. I watch stuff on both. I tell you what, I never watch Apple TV. I only got it this year for that Masters of the Air. I've watched nothing on it at all. And I don't watch Disney much either. In fact, I may as well cancel my subscriptions. I don't watch Disney or Apple. They're a waste of time. Oh, good cutback by Arsenal, but it's cleared. If a Goliath spider somehow sneaks into your house, what do you do? Says Nigel. Let me Google a Goliath spider. Yeah. They're not going to do anything to us, though, are they? Probably quite friendly. Bloody hell. That one's bigger than a hand. My God, they're big. Well, I'd definitely beat that in a running race. Hader says, thanks, Mark. I've been having an argument with someone delusional for years that genuinely believes that Community Shield is a legitimate trophy. It's definitely not. Thanks, Nigel. Do you take Will's hair or Neville's height? Says Bobby Archer. How tall is Gary Neville? We shouldn't pick on people for their height. He used to play centre-back. He can't be that small. 5'10". 5'10". 5'10" is not small. He does look small, doesn't he? But maybe that's because he's quite broad. If Netflix made a movie of your life, which actor would get to play you, says Esther? I'll let you lot answer that. I mean, I'd say DiCaprio, but too early to say Raya's better than Alisson, says 58 Go. Yes, I think it is too early for that. I think he's better than Edison, though. Sword Manslayer says, making a substitution here. Jorginho and Trossard are coming off. I suppose they've got an eye on Sunday. Jesus is coming off. I mean, he's fell off, hasn't he, Jesus, recently. Goal line technology. We don't need bloody goal line technology. We know it didn't go over the line because you've got fucking scanners in there, you knobheads. Sword Manslayer says, imagine the amount of money you would make if you had an OnlyFans. Some people make deep fakes of famous people using AI to do what they desire. I don't think... I think I'd lose money on an OnlyFans, mate. Who wins, a hippo or a rhino, says Yusuf. I think it's been proven that a rhino would win. I think. What do you think of EAFC 25 so far? I'm happy with it, Stephen. Check out the vid. Episode 2 tomorrow. Right, top 4 or FA Cup. 66% of you have gone with top 4. I agree. It's sad, but that's the modern state of football. Champions League football is more status than the FA Cup to many. Our next one is going to be for courtesy of Hader, who wants to know, is the Community Shield a legit trophy? Basically, when you retire and you say, I've won the league twice, the FA Cup once, and the Community Shield 3 times, do you get laughed out the pub for the Community Shield being classed as a real tournament? It's hard to see. It's hard to find a way to think that Arsenal are going to win this game, you know. I mean, they'll probably go and score in a minute, but it predominantly has been Atalanta in the second half. You just wonder how much Sunday is playing on the minds. And as I've said about a million times, it's horrific that Arsenal have got to go and play in Manchester on Sunday afternoon, having played in Italy on Thursday night. Ridiculous scheduling. Ridiculous. I'm surprised Arteta hasn't said anything yet. Quadrado coming on for De Ketelaere. I mean, he must be getting on a bit now. Quadrado. Sure, he played for Chelsea, didn't he? 36. 30. He played for Chelsea, didn't he? Yeah. 14 games for Chelsea between 2015 and 2017. Udinese, Lecce, Fiorentina, Chelsea, Juventus, Inter Milan, Atalanta. He's 36. He's played 116 games for Colombia and still does. Arturo says, is Rodgers the best player in the world to have no goals and no assists? I mean, that is a great point. I'm a big fan of his, but he has got to have an end product. You're right. 71% of you so far are saying that the Community Shield is not a legitimate trophy. I'm surprised that 30% of you do think it's legitimate. Who do you think looks like Starmer? Two-tier bridge, says Taylor. No one will think it. Christopher Campbell says that wasn't a penalty. He didn't foul him. That was his arm. He didn't touch him. He did push him. That's clearly not a penalty. He shouldn't go for a leg. We kicked him on the back of his calf, mate. Might want to get a pair of these, Chris. Why are Arsenal so crap in the Champions League, says Curtis. Let's have a little bit of respect to the Italian league. And let's have a little bit of respect towards Atalanta. Yes, Man City should have won it late on against Inter, but they were at home. And Inter played very, very well. And Atalanta are a decent side. And Arsenal are away. So what's he doing there? Thinks he's bloody Freddie Mercury. Arteta. He just went like that. What's this all about? Want to be careful, mate. People might think it's an ice cream and they might think it's someone else. Charlie says Atalanta are good defensively. Atalanta smoked Liverpool last season. Yeah, they did. I remember that. I mean, Arsenal are a better team than Atalanta. I think we all know that, but I don't think it's. I don't think. Look, also, we should not be so arrogant in the Premier League to think that we're the masters of Europe. We did shit last year, absolutely shit, and that's why we only got 4 places, because we were crap in Europe. Everybody was crap. I thought Villa were going to win the Conference League, Liverpool were going to win the UEFA Cup, and Man City or Arsenal would win the Champions League. We won nothing. Esto says, since you've seen them both, who do you reckon was better, peak Neymar or peak Kaka? I think Neymar should be better, but I probably would go with Kaka, because Kaka did it consistently for a longer period of time, whereas Neymar, I never really understood the PSG move, and I don't think he really fulfilled his talent. And I know people will say you're talking shit, but I don't think he did. Too many injuries, too many absences, too many sort of money-motivated moves. I don't think he should have gone to PSG. And I think he went to Saudi too soon. But does he actually play anymore? When was the last time Neymar actually played a game of football? I know he was injured a lot of last season, but is he playing now? I never hear about Neymar anymore. Joe Roberts has just gifted 5 memberships. You're a legend, Joe. And James, thank you very much for your super chat as well. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. James is a Chelsea fan, a fan of yours too as well. Where will Chelsea finish? Well, you don't matter who you support on this channel. Everybody's welcome. We were talking about Chelsea in the first half. I think they've got a great, as good a chance to get top 4 as Man United have got, and Newcastle have got, and Spurs have got, and Villa have got, and Brighton have got. I think it's an open race at the moment. Max says, what's your thoughts on the World Cup in 2026? Personally, I think it's going to be one of the best. I think it will be one of the most hyped ones, because it's in America, and 94 was fantastic. But I'm not convinced it's going to be one of the best. I think it's going to be too big. Too many teams in it, mate. I think there's going to be a lot of shit. I mean, I'll tell you now, we're not doing every game as a watch-along. And in the last few Euros and World Cups, we've done that. We're not doing it for that, because some of the games are going to be shit. You're going to get Tunisia playing, I don't know. I don't want to be offensive, but I've got to pick a country. Bolivia. You know, there's going to be too many really boring games. Because the powers that be just seem to be obsessed with more games at the moment. Make it bigger and bigger, and it dilutes the quality. There'll be some games in the Champions League that are boring in this group stage. Like Man City have got to play that team that Celtic whacked next. Would you, as a United fan, rather win the Champions League or the Premier League? At the moment, I would rather go for the Premier League, because we haven't won it for so long. And I think it's the harder one to win. And also, YOLO says, Neymar's still got an ACL. He's out till January. So he must have had that for when did he do his ACL then? I feel like he did it a year ago. What did you make of Man City's kit last night, says Ollie. Absolutely rank. Would you get a KFC or a McDonald's on an Easter Sunday, says Jocelyn. What's the relevance of Easter Sunday? Can't it be a normal Sunday? I'd probably go KFC. McDonald's doesn't really excite me at all. There was a time when I used to go to McDonald's and I'd be really excited. Like my mouth would be salivating at what I was going to order. If I had to go to McDonald's now, I would eat something if I was hungry, but there's nothing there that makes me nutritionally or appetite-wise go, ooh, this is great food. Whereas KFC, I know it's not great for you, but, good shot there from Quadrado, just over the bar. But at least it's chicken. Whereas the McChicken sandwich is nowhere near the quality of KFC's chicken. Although chicken nuggets are brilliant when you've had a few. Me and Mrs. Goldbridge were out in Birmingham a few months ago. Went back to the hotel room and I said, I'm hungry. I meant for food. And I said, I'm going out. She says, where are you going to go? I'm going to go to McDonald's. Do you want some? No, I'm going to sleep. So I went to McDonald's and I bought 20 chicken nuggets, 2 McChicken sandwich meals, and my drinks were water. Obviously pissed. I can only think that whilst I was buying all this junk food, I thought water was healthy. So I just got back to the hotel room. She was fast asleep and devoured as much as I could. I got through 1 McChicken sandwich, 20 chicken nuggets, 2 fries, 2 waters, and that was it. I quit. I used to sit opposite somebody at work. I've told you this story before. I used to sit opposite somebody at work in Dublin when I worked there. And she was always on a diet. I'm not saying she needed to be on a diet. I mean, if you want that answer, I probably can't answer it. But she, of her own accord, was always on a diet. And she'd come back from lunch and you could eat at your desk. And she'd have like a big... there was like a coffee shop, a cafe across the road. She'd come back with like a big massive sandwich that had bacon, sausages and egg in it, and then a packet of crisps and a Diet Coke. And sometimes I'd just say, you've got to be very careful even then. You can't say, how's the diet going? Because it comes across as sarcastic, because that's exactly what it is. But however I made the conversation up, she would always say, well, I've had the Diet Coke because I'm being good. This is not unusual. I've told this story so many times and people say, yeah, I know loads of people who do that. They'll buy themselves an unhealthy sandwich, an unhealthy packet of crisps, and then they'll get a Diet Coke and think that that balances it out. Still 0-0 in the Arsenal game. 20 minutes to go. It's filtering out. Sapacosta comes off. Bellanova and Zaniolo come on. Ollie says, when is automated offside happening in the Premier League? I thought it was after this international break. I actually think it's the next international break. Alias says, what do you think about coconut? What? Crabs? Don't know what that is. Fergie only won 2 Champions Leagues in 26 years. Champions League is way harder, says Easy. Mate, the question was, to me, what would I rather win, the Premier League or the Champions League? It wasn't what's harder, and it wasn't what you think. I want to win the Premier League because we haven't won it for 10 years, and I think the Premier League is harder to win than the Champions League at the moment. Fucking hell, what is it about people not actually allowing you to have an opinion? Do you think players might actually go on strike, says Shahin? I don't think they will. But there is a lot of talk about it. The Premier League didn't used to be harder than the Champions League. I'll give him that. Like, what he's saying is Man United won the Premier League loads under Sir Alex, but he couldn't win the Champions League. I think the Premier League was a lot easier to win than the Champions League, certainly in the early noughties when you had some really good European sides, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, etc. Barcelona, I think were quite good in the early noughties. I can't remember. But nowadays, the Premier League is considered to be the best league in the world, whereas in the early noughties it wasn't. The Premier League is considered to be the strongest league in the world. It's got Man City in it. And, you know, you play 38 games. I think it is harder to win the Premier League now than it is to win the Champions League. And people will say, well, Man City didn't win it last year. I know. Maybe they didn't win it last year because they're focusing so much on the Premier League. 17th of October last year was when Neymar did his ACL, says YOLO. So he's going to be out for longer than a year. That's weird, isn't it, about knee injuries? Malacia, Lavia, Neymar. Used to be a knee injury would keep you out for about 9 months. We seem to be getting a lot of knee injuries these days that you're out for longer than a year again. Jordan says, have you ever watched My £600 Life? Two sisters thought Diet Coke would erase sugar from other meals. Mate, there's a lot of thick people in the world. Jordan. God, there are a lot of thick people in the world. But at least we live in a diverse world. And that's not being offensive to thick people, because you really are thick. Choose one United treble or watch Will Drink Water, says Parker. Got to be careful because he didn't get that clip last night, but he did get the clip when somebody asked me, is Will my best friend? Maybe he did get the clip and he'll be there tomorrow in the pub with a massive pint of water. Who do you think was the better front three? Neymar, Suarez and Messi, or Ronaldo, Rooney and Tevez? Well, I'm going to go United, yeah. They weren't together that long, Rooney, Ronaldo and Tevez, but they were very good and they won the Champions League. We've had a super chat coming in from Joe. All right, Mark, first super chat. Thank you very much, Joe. Just wanted to say you're a legend as well, as everyone you work with. It's my birthday today, so the memberships I gifted are a gift to you and the chat. Joe, you're an absolute legend and a gentleman, and thank you very much, and happy birthday to Joe. If you want to join me in that, Aaron Jones has as well. Lovely guy, Joe, and I hope you're having a good birthday. It's not been the best game of football, but, you know, sometimes I enjoy these watch-alongs because you just get to talk about a load of stuff. It's like being down the pub with your mates. The amount of games I've watched down the pub over the years and you're barely watching the match, you're just talking about other stuff. Are you going to do a boxing watch-along, says Chris? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not, definitely not, but I don't want to pay. Is it on, what's it on? Pay-per-view. It will be pay-per-view. It'll be pay-per-view. My osteopath heard that Mount has a front pelvic problem which used to retire players, but not these days, but it causes a lot of other injuries, says Ollie. Oh, that's interesting. Look, in fairness to Mason Mount, it's been a bloody nightmare of a signing for him and for Manchester United. This is a chance. Oh, my God. You know who it is. Martinelli. Martinelli has got to get more prolific. I mean, he's through one-on-one. He is onside and he misses. And that's the thing. I think there's a really good player there, but there's a lot of misses. A lot of people saying happy birthday to Joe. Thank you very much. So it's nice to be back on the red wine. We're sort of hitting that season, aren't we? I'm a seasonal drinker, actually. I tend to drink lager through the summer, maybe a G&T. And then it hits the autumn, and I do like my red wine. And I tend to drink less lager. That was a nice red wine as well. I think sometimes it's I'm not really a wine snob, so I tend to try lots of different ones. That was a nice red wine. A pint of wine, please, says Fennick. I've worked in bars. I've never, ever had someone order a pint of wine. But then I think, why can't you have a pint of wine? It would last you longer. You don't have to keep going to the bar. Martinelli or Darwin Núñez? Let's do it, Jordan. 67% of you say the Community Shield is not a legitimate trophy. I'm absolutely terrified that 33% of you think the Community Shield is classed as a real trophy. My God. You're the sort of people that at school sports day, you want a trophy for second place. Bloody Community Shield is a legitimate trophy. Do you think Ronaldo, at the end of his career, is there going, this many Ballon d'Ors, this many Champions League, this many league titles, this many domestic trophies, and this many Community Shields? Smoke it. Not for me. Not for me. Right, either or. We're going for it. Martinelli, Darwin Núñez. What do you think about YouTubers who are up and coming who use your name for views? Wow. I made that one up. I bet there were some people there going, oh my God, get the clip ready. I'm sending it to him. Yeah, I'm just having a laugh. It's a participation medal, Andrew. The Community Shield is a glorified friendly for charity. It is not something you put on your CV at all. You may as well put the Audi Cup on there. I mean, Spurs fans would love to be in the Community Shield, and they would definitely. The great thing about Spurs is they can count the Community Shield, but they wouldn't need to, because to be in it, you've got to win a trophy. Like, for Spurs to be in the Community Shield, it's like a man being invited to run the women's 100 metres. You're never going to be allowed to do it. Although, actually, well, anyway, we won't go down that road. But you know what I mean? It's impossible. Spurs can never compete in the Community Shield. They're banned. Because you actually have to win a trophy to enter. So you can't even do the joke that Spurs would count it as a trophy, because you need to win a trophy to be in it. That's my point. Hi, it's my brother's birthday. He's 21. His name is Leon, says Alex. Happy birthday to Leon. Martinelli or Darwin Núñez is up and running, Jordan. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We are at 1.25 million on this channel now, and we're closing in on 15252. We're only about 10 away, so bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. If you're looking for some late night viewing tonight, or you want to watch episode 2 live tomorrow, my EAFC career mode has started today. I got it a day early, so we started this afternoon, 4 games in. You can check that out on my channel, and it's episode 2 tomorrow. Didn't go as bad as I thought. I mean, there were some moments. I did a mum joke. There was somebody being horrible in the chat, and I basically normally ignore it. And then I said, I basically said something about their mum, because everybody's got a mum. And then I realised you just don't know. You don't know. Some people get a bit. The thing I find is somebody messaged me and said you shouldn't be doing mum jokes. It's fine to say something horrible to me, but I can't come back and do a mum joke. Well, I can. Martinelli is losing to Darwin Núñez, Arsenal fans. Remember when Arsenal fans would always save any poll? About 2014. Hobnobs or digestives, says BJ. I eat healthy now. You know what my daughter said? Fattest, right? She said, I was on TikTok the other day, and a clip came up of you singing Agadoo, and you looked like you'd been stung by 100 bees. I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, your face was a lot bigger than it is now. And I said, yeah, I've got quite healthy this year. But you can't say you look like you... Don't say that about people that you think might be a little bit fat. You can't say you look like you've been stung by 100 bees. It's offensive. You'll be going to prison for that in 5 years. Don't let them lot hear that. God, if they, you'll be going to prison for an assist. You know, if you say someone's fat, you're going to prison. If you say, ooh, you thought it, the thought police are here, you're going to prison. 5 years. That's coming down the road. 100%. Fennec, I think, has just put the link in the chat for the career mode, so I'm going to pin it. Why won't it let me pin it? There we go. Remove the Nelly from Martinelli is Brazilian dross, says Direct. No wonder Sai says, no wonder City rhymes with Diddy. It doesn't, though. Mate, City don't rhyme with Diddy. That's terrible, mate. Anyway, I would say hobnobs over digestives easily, but I don't eat them sort of stuff anymore. It was hard, you know, actually. We've got a couple of minutes. I've changed my diet quite a lot this year. And I've done it for health reasons. And which we don't need to go into. But basically, I needed to cut down a hell of a lot on certain types of food. And I love biscuits and puddings and chocolate and ice cream. I love it. If I go to the pub, my favourite bit is always dessert. I don't have them hardly ever now. And the first month of it, I was miserable. I was like, what's the point? What is the bloody point in not being able to have a biscuit with my tea or that? But it's true, you know, I don't miss it at all now. Like, I was thinking, oh, at Christmas it's going to be horrible. I love, like, the quality street and the celebrations and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But I think when you don't have something for a long time, you sort of get used to not having it. So anyway, join me next stream for another boring story. What else have we got in the chat? YOLO says, rerun the poll. It says both crap as jokes. Yeah, Darwin Nunez has beaten Martinelli. Who would I go with through? Yeah, I like Darwin Nunez. What I would say about Darwin Nunez is I'm very surprised that it's not come good. I felt that the ridicule and misses in the first year would be a distant memory by now. But it is starting to get to the point where he might end up like Forlan, where at United it just didn't work out and he'll go somewhere else and be good. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves Liverpool in the next couple of years, goes somewhere else in Europe and actually ends up being quite good. Because I genuinely did think he would come good, but I don't know whether he's going to fit into Slot's system. 7 minutes to go. It would be a bit harsh on either team now if they were to lose. Remember, Atalanta, the best chance of the game was the penalty, which they missed. Thanks for all your super chats and chats tonight, by the way. Really appreciate it. My next watch-along is Man United against Palace on 5:30 on Saturday, and then Arsenal-Man City here on Sunday. But our next live stream is midday tomorrow. Remember, we're live every midday. Not every midday. We're live at midday on Monday for our Premier League review show every Monday, and every Friday at midday from the Goldbridge Arms for our Premier League preview show. And there's lots to get into this weekend. We'll be talking about the potential strike action from players. We'll also be talking about a couple of weird events this week. I really want to talk about the Brennan Johnson thing. He looked terrified by the Spurs fans when Son took him over yesterday. What's going on there? And also, Thierry Henry's behaviour towards Pulisic was just weird as well. Monaco are beating Barcelona, but they're down to 10 men because Garcia got sent off. The latest is 1-1 between Atletico Madrid and Leipzig. Goals from Sesko and Griezmann. Brest are beating Sturm Graz 2-0 Brest. Ironic, really, when you think about it. But Monaco are beating Barcelona 2-1. Garcia was sent off after 10 minutes. Monaco went ahead. Yamal equalised in the first half, but Monaco have gone ahead again. It's 2-1 there. And, you know, those sort of rules result. I mean, I don't know how this is going to work. This league system in the Champions League isn't going to start making sense until we've played 3 games. I think the early stages of it are sort of difficult to understand. My fear is that by game 5, all the good teams will be at the top, resting their teams in games 6, 7 and 8, in which case the system doesn't work. But if we get a few shock results, it could make it quite interesting. Darwin just needs a good striker coach to help him out. Plus, he's a better as a winger, not a striker, says Yolo. And Air Up should do a Yorkshire tea flavour called A Up, says Connell. You know what? I just use mine as water. I don't even use, I don't know. I did use it with the add-ons, and then I ran out and I couldn't be asked to buy anymore. So I just use it as a water bottle. Lookman! Good tackle. Good play by Saliba. Lookman was in. It feels like this has been the world's longest stream, but it's been really good. I've enjoyed it. I feel like I'll be waking up tomorrow for some of the clips. I can't remember what we've said, but it's been fun. Thanks everyone who's watching. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved with That's Football. You're all welcome on here. Doesn't matter who you support. Even City fans come in here. So you're very, very welcome. Darwin Nunez beat Martinelli, 56%. Oh, getting tired now. I don't know whether I will watch In Between Us tonight. I'll probably just drop. I like. You know what I like to do? I like to be in bed at 10:30. That's a bonus. I'm never in bed at 10:30. I like to be in bed at 10:30. Mrs. Goldbridge has normally fell asleep. Got the TV to myself. I put something on. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a documentary about Christopher Columbus. It could be an episode of The In-Betweeners. I put it on. I get in a really comfortable position. It's always better when it's not the summer because you're cozy in bed. And the next thing I know, that dropping off to sleep thing, and you just reach forward with the controller, hit the power button, and you're gone. I love it. I love it. Arsenal in tournament games are crap, says Corrupt. Look, there is such thing as being good in your domestic league and struggling against different styles of play. I think Arsenal have pretty much mastered the Premier League, but European football, they don't have a rich history in it. I think last year was the first time they've been in the Champions League for a few years. So people forget that about Arsenal. Like they haven't been in the Champions League consistently for a long time. So it's about getting used to it again, isn't it? Different styles of football, isn't it? 88 minutes. Barca are using a centre-back as a CDM because they spent money on Olmo. I thought it was a real shame that Barcelona didn't get hold of Nico Williams, actually. I mean, I presume that's financial. TV's got no place in the bedroom, Ronnie. Hey, mate, I'm not going to get into a debate with that. I actually am. Either or. Should you have a TV in the bedroom? Now, I'll let you in. I don't know. Look, I've had my mind blown by you before. I did a poll before about showers. When I have a shower, face forward. Apparently, some people face that way, which I just find weird. Because if I'm facing that way, I just feel uneasy because the door to my bathroom is that way. I ain't turning my back in the shower to anyone. Even Mrs. I'm not in for pegging, so it's not happening, even if it's a friend. So that's not happening. But some people do face the wall when they're having a shower, which I find weird. So maybe some people don't want a TV in their bedroom. It's like when I said most people apparently brush their teeth with cold water. I'm amazed by this. I've always brushed my teeth with warm water because you wash your hands with warm water. Warm water. You never wash your hands with cold water. Warm water kills more bacteria. So, but 73% of you say you should have a TV in your bedroom. I've got to be honest. I've always had a TV in my room from the age of about. Well, I had a TV in my room from the point I was allowed to have a TV in my room. I think I had a TV in my room from the age of about 10. Bloody loved it. Loved it. Because the thing about having a TV downstairs is that I will fall asleep and then you've got to turn it off, go upstairs. Whereas in my room, I fall asleep and I go to sleep. Jonathan Bibby says, would you stamp on Stuart Little for £2 million? If it wasn't, is it being filmed? Does the world need to know? Because if I did, like, look what happened to Kurt Zuma. Like, I wouldn't do it for £2 million if everyone knows I've done it. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it. Like, now I'm going to get clipped. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying, will I get filmed? Will I get caught? Because that's murder of a mouse, a talking mouse. And didn't Michael J. Fox do the voice on it as well, which makes it doubly worse. But if it's a crime that nobody knows you've done and you're going to get £2 million for it, I will think about it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. People have cold showers, says David Notty. I don't understand those people. My brother-in-law, one Christmas, came back from a run, and mother-in-law said, "There's no hot water yet because it's all been used up." And he said, "Don't worry, I'll have a cold shower." I was like, "What? What sort of robot are you? Cold shower? Oh no!" It's like these ice bucket challenges that people do. No, it's not even an ice bucket challenge. They just use ice baths. No, it's just unpleasant. Oh, but it makes me feel so good when you move past. No. Brushing your teeth with warm water is mental, says Frank. Try it. Jack doesn't use anything, just toothpaste. That's it. Leave it for an hour. Max says, what's a better combo, takeaway and TV or music in the car? Music in the car is not a combo, though. Because takeaway and TV, you'd say takeaway, TV, and the chair you sat at. You're saying music and the car that's moving. You need to add something else to music in the car. Music in the car and a blowjob. I'm just thinking of something off the top of my head. Cold water's better for your skin and hair. Look, I'll tell you what I do like doing. I like to have a warm shower, and then at the end of the shower, turn the temperature down. I think that's quite invigorating because I hate getting out of the shower and feeling hot. You ever got out of the shower? I've done it so many times with the United Stand. I'll have a shower at like 20 to 8 and I'm on at 8 o'clock. Get out of the shower and I just can't cool down. And then I'm putting a jumper on and I'm bloody boiling. So I do quite like that sort of chill thing. Yeah, I'm definitely going for the car journey and the radio too, Lee, if that's the extra. Depends who's giving it. Obviously, there's only one person. When's your charity stream? November, Hayden. It's the November international break on the Saturday. And that's it. It's 0-0. I mean, bloody hell, what's going on? 0-0, Man City and Inter. 0-0, Arsenal and Atalanta. If you'd have told me that, I'd have painted my nails. Well, bloody well, I wouldn't actually, because I think you've been absolutely amazing in the chat. Absolutely loved it. So thanks everyone for tuning in as ever. Really, really enjoyed it. And the football's been shit, but we've had a really good chat. Don't forget, Fennick has put the link in the description for my career mode. So if you actually want to see some football with goals and me talking, then go and give that a listen tonight. I think you'll really enjoy that. We're back live at 3 o'clock tomorrow with that as well for episode 2. But also, we've got a midday live stream on this channel tomorrow. We're live from the Goldbridge Arms with the Premier League preview. So take care, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And Thomas Hopley says, music in the car with fellatio. Call it a blowjob, mate. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care. Speak to you all in a bit. And I'll speak to you later.